But hello everybody. Thank you for all joining this evening, and thank you for all those who are on my YouTube channel. Hope you're enjoying this little podcast we got going. As always, I am Grumpy Bear, and my co-host is let me make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. Convoy, con, con Covo Ninja.
Corvo.
Corvo. I'm gonna
Corvo.
mess it up every time. You know that because that this
There you go.
Corvo.
Ninja.
I little joke at the end of the last stream, and a few people got it, so I'm glad that happened. But if you're coming from my YouTube channel, hope you hit that subscribe button. Yes, stealthy. I couldn't help myself because of times. But I'm hoping y'all enjoyed it, and if you do enjoy this, what you see here, I hope you hit that subscribe button and come back and check me out live, and come check us out live today. All right, so as some of y'all may or may not know, last week Corvo here, he went to Orlando and he had a little bit of fun going on. So Corvo,
Yes.
why did you go down to Orlando?
So it's kind of a two-stage thing. The trip was planned to celebrate mine and Stell's 10th wedding anniversary and a friend of ours' 21st birthday.
Okay, how
So
long you and Stealthy been together now?
we've been married 10 years, together 12.
Okay, that's about the same thing with me and my wife. About 10 and then going around 12, I would say. We're not at 12 years being together.
Yeah. So yeah, the premise was to go down there, introduce our friend to Margaritaville, and for us to have a little, blowout to celebrate being married for 10 years.
So getting a little
Um,
drunk.
yeah, yeah. There was some 5 o'clock somewhere mixers in there, and there was some heavy-handed uh bourbon and coke at the hotel. I think the bartender forgot the part of bartending school that says use as little alcohol as possible and more mixer.
Yeah.
It
I
was
wouldn't
kind
know
of
anything about
reversed.
that. To be honest with you. I always, as far as I understand, that the tastier it is, the worse it's probably going to be because you're not going to realize there's alcohol in it until you're drunk off your ass, stumbling everywhere.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, we had quite a few. We had a few drinks. It was fun. The alcohol was fantastic as usual when you're down there. The atmosphere at Margaritaville is just it's a different type of place to drink. It's a little laid back. It's very much like Jimmy Buffett's song, It's just a place to go and chill and have a good time.
Now, did y'all go to just putting it out there? Did you go to the theme parks? Did you go to?
No, we didn't actually go into the park setting this time. That's on the next trip. This
Yeah.
was strictly just for the adults to have a little fun at Margaritaville, buy a few things for the family, and celebrate just hanging out and being with friends and family.
Okay. So that was your first scene, and honey, they can hear you. Thank you. Uh, he'll get up when he wants to get up. Hey. Anyways, my dog and my wife is calling for him, and he's sleeping here all comfortable and nice. Bubby, food. Oh, your head poked up when I said that. Go, go, yeah, get. I can't see him. I'm hoping to get a dog camera soon. Well, might turn this camera to a dog camera. So you went there for getting drunk for someone's 18th birthday. Am I correct? Now, who was this person that was 18's birthday?
21st birthday,
21st.
and
Sorry.
I met the guy. He used to work with Stealthy when she was working at her previous place of employment,
Yeah.
and he's a pretty cool kid.
He wasn't even 21.
No, he wasn't 21 when they met. He's 21 now.
Okay.
He's very mature for his age. So he hangs out. He comes, spends the night. We play games. Um, we do fun things. He likes hanging out with me because, unlike the rest of his friends, I'm not all about the party scene and doing all the craziness.
Quick
I'm about
question:
hanging out and having fun.
Was he the one that one night that you were telling him to roll over?
to roll over.
Yeah, was that the same one? I won't go into details here, but just I'm saying roll over. You probably remember
Yes,
roll
yes,
over.
yes, yes.
He was the one to roll over.
Yes.
That poor guy. I'm not gonna go into that story. That's personal, Chad. I'm sorry, but I just remember one day I was talking to them, and all I heard them in the background was "roll over, roll over, roll over." I'm like, huh? you can put in the blanks there, chat. I'm not telling you, but that's all I remember. All I remember. I know a little bit more than just that, but man, hope you didn't roll
Yes,
him over this time.
that that was definitely it. And Stealthy wanted me to make sure I let you know that she also had a Tranquil Waters blender while she was there, so she doubled up while we were at Margaritaville.
Doubled up, so she got man. Yeah, you should have been at home. This is the best time to get her. She's all drunk and wasted. You're like, hey.
That is something I never have to worry about when it comes to Stealthy. If anything, I'm the one going, I got a headache.
Gave you a headache. All right, so you got his little buzz on. Now, as far as I'm understanding, we talked a little bit before this stream here. You had some others with you, other than this gentleman. Who were these other people? And one of them, as far as I can understand, he was a little bit more than y'all could handle. What made this gentleman more than you could handle? And who were they?
So one of Jasmine's old high school friends come up to visit and brought her boyfriend with her.
How old were these two?
Um, Jasmine's age and my age.
Okay, so they're much older, our generation, I want say.
Yeah, so they're like, um, the girl's fine. I've hung out with her before. She's very much a fun person. Matter of fact, she plays some games with us online
Yeah.
and enjoy her company. All right, she can be a little bit literal sometimes with missing a joke. Like I can tell her a joke and she'll want to go textbook and give me the real reason for it
Uh huh.
sometimes, but not something that I can't handle that I hadn't dealt with before.
So
However,
you've dealt with it before.
yeah, however, the boyfriend was a whole different ball of wax. He he's a little special in the aspect that um he for lack of a better way to say it, he invents things about himself so that he can be the special one.
Okay, so okay. That's a let me give you an example here or try an idea. He's the one the kind of person that fabricates information that is presented as truth, but it's obviously a lie, or it seems like someone that's knowledgeable about everything on the spot every time. Am I getting that right? Been bat around the
Yeah.
ballpark?
You're you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, I'll give you an example. The guy's a huge Transformers fan.
Okay.
Now, if you know anything about Transformers, which I don't know how much you know, but the Autobots insignia is very much a standard red color
Yeah.
with every now and then it'll have a little silver outlining for metal or a little black outlining for like a sticker. But there's not a whole lot to it. Now, for me, a diehard fan like he describes himself would never get a tattoo of that without it being accurate to the T on that.
Well, I would say like you could do just like a full black one.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that would work, but you would either go all black or you would have all red with the edging.
Oh yeah.
Um, but he changed the colors in the symbol to match a particular flag.
All right. I've seen an American flag version of the Transformers, which is kind of stylistic, right? So
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
just wouldn't
just
say
not.
like if you were trying to be a little bit more, if you were trying to be like a bigger fan, you would probably stick to original.
But anyway, it was an interesting event. It did cause a little bit of discord, I would say, in the dynamics of the group.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess because of it, we didn't get to really enjoy some of everything that we really wanted to do. I guess would be the best way to say it. I'm not going to go into some of the more personal details of it,
Yeah.
but we'll just say that there were some times that that even Jasmine's friend wanted to make sure that we were clear on some things because she could see how I was wanting to react to situations.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's understandable. Not everybody will connect in that way, and then not everybody's gonna be like. I'm sure there's always someone's pet peeve or someone's less desirable side to come at them, especially when festive things are happening. Like if you're getting a little bit more loosey goosey, you'll tend to.
That's not to say that this guy couldn't be someone perfectly fun to hang out with in a different type of setting,
Yeah.
but it was I don't know if it was because we were in such a time push for things we were trying to do that it kind of flowed the way it did. Um,
Because you were limited to a whole weekend.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of a compacted situation,
It'd have been
I guess I
stressful
would say.
to try to get all these things done. That's why most of the time we ever went on vacation with my parents, especially, we would have ideas what we did, but we didn't put a time frame on none of it because we knew something at some point would be too stressful to put a time frame on it because we'd be too worried about
Yeah,
like we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. We can't enjoy this. We gotta
yeah.
we gotta live on
I
the.
mean, they're good people. I won't say that they're not. I mean, they're great. They got big hearts.
Everybody has their good moments and
I
bad.
will. I would do anything to help them, but there was just a few moments that got kind of rough because some of the things that I felt like was being represented were not accurate. They
Gotcha.
felt they felt a little forced. Although I will say he brought his kid, and I loved his kid. His kid was fantastic. He got along with my kids good, which is no small feat.
It's not a tattoo. Okay. So as some of y'all may or may not see, he got a new tattoo. Um, I'll go ahead and show y'all the close up to his tattoo, and then we'll get into it. If you want to pull up your arm right now, I'll give y'all a little bit of view here, but y'all can see on his forearm right there. But yeah, a little closer look to it. But here's his tattoo on the Discord he sent me the other day. So this tattoo, we were talking about this thing for a while. Now, is that the tree of life that I'm looking at? Because I remember drawing
You're
this
what you're looking at is a tree of life with a Celtic knot in the center of it.
Celtic knot. Now, I'm not too familiar with Celtic. That is something I gotta say. That I know the tree of life because I've drew it before, so it's not my first rodeo in that. But other than that, I don't really know what
So
the Celtic
so
is.
when you look in the center, you'll see like three ovals that kind of look like they're overlapping, making almost like a triangle center symbol. That represents family and the ties in family.
To bring this over here so you can see that. Okay, so there's the those are the three things that tie you together,
Yeah,
or
you see at the top you have like a loop,
yeah,
and then you see to the left and right. If you look at the sides of my arm, you'll see two other loops down towards the bottom that almost make like a triangular shape.
kind of reminds me of the affinity symbol where it's constantly
Yeah,
looping in on itself.
it's very similar. The concept is that family is always tied and bound together, you know, and what a family goes through only makes them stronger, like
Hmm.
links in a chain.
So and then let's see the root on it. Well, I'm assuming the root is meaning to root you downwards, or to everybody be rooted in one place, or is it the tree? Because
It's
I'm trying to say on this thing, it goes into the tree itself, and then there's a bunch of roots. So I'm assuming
Yeah, the roots are for
coming back to your roots, maybe.
yeah, more along the lines of giving you a foundation for your family, something to hold you up strong, something solid. Because a tree A tree, is largely strength is based on the root system. That's what holds it up. That's what makes it stand there.
Yeah. Okay, something about we have a southeast settlement. Something about Luce told you.
Luis
Luis.
Luis was my tattoo artist.
Yeah.
He thought that this was the greatest freaking design for a tree of life he's ever done. It's not finished yet. That's just the line work that you guys see. I have another appointment to get all the shading and all that stuff done, and he there's a few things he wanted to see if I was down with him adding in. Um, right here, I don't know if you can see it, but right here there's an open
Oh yeah, it's
space.
a very much open. So you're gonna do
So right here, he's gonna put like a negative space moon
okay. So
to
you
kind of
tie it.
fill that to kind of tie it all together. Um, these lighter tree branches, he did that on purpose because he's gonna run some shading through there, and he didn't want them real bold to overpower the shading to kind of roll it into the rest of this memorial tattoo area.
Yeah.
And he's done the same thing on the other side here. Um, and he's got some pretty good ideas on how he wants to shade inside these larger branches and around the base of this root. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he don't throw like a little bit of like grass, fine line grass work right there at the base of the root. You know, I've never seen a tattoo artist pull as many little lines as fast as that man did.
Well, I'm sure he
I
has a lot
mean,
of practice. But also, who you said it was? He said it was the best one he'd ever seen before. Did he do it? And he's just like just giving himself a big old pat, or did you know someone else that did it? Who did the artwork for you?
no, no. See, this artwork, I went and found a tree of life that I liked, and
Yeah.
then I looked at some symbols, some Celtic symbols, and was tooling around with it. And I had done kind of a patchwork type of artistry to kind of see what it would look like with that symbol there.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine said, "Hey, I seen something very similar to that already made.
Uh huh.
You should take a look at it." So I went out and Googled it and found it and looked at it, and it was just something that it wasn't copyrighted or anything. It was just something somebody slapped out there, for people to look at, and I liked it. So I sent him over a copy of it and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing this?" And kind of bringing the branches over and the root system. If you look right there,
Yeah.
um, on the root system, it wraps around the backside close to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Um, he come up with the idea to do all that and kind of do the soft shading that we're going to do in December to make it all tie together.
Okay, so let's tie this in a little bit. Okay, so you were doing this, as far as you understand, as your for your passing. Who was the passing for? I don't want to give it here, but who was the passing
Okay,
for?
this this all is going to be end up being a half sleeve memorial tattoo to my father, who passed away when I was very young. I was 12 years old.
Father that was
Uh,
the fishing father, the
the fishing father,
military.
the one that I snuck off to many a ponds with instead of going to school. The one that had been in the Marine Corps. Yes, that father.
Okay, and then you said the moon's going right here again, like in the inner part of the connecting, right?
Yeah, yeah, right there,
Gotcha. And
where
so,
that
what's the
area
moon
is.
gonna be? Like, is moon just a like, hey, something to put there, or you have a reason for the moon?
Okay, so the moon. My dad was a big time fisherman,
Yeah.
and full moons are great times to go fishing. So we just thought it would be kind of neat since he wanted to do a negative space moon, putting it kind of between his memorial phrase and the tree. Kind of
Are you
like
gonna
a
do like a Celtic
thumbnail.
moon, or are you gonna do just a full on? Just here is a picture of a moon.
We haven't decided what kind of detail is going to be inside this moon yet. We just know it's going to be largely negative space.
Uh huh.
Um, but I'm sure there'll be some details in it.
Okay. I'm just thinking Celtic because of the tree symbol with a little bit of a Celtic into it. So I think we
Yeah.
tie it together in some way. Um. So is your mother? She's still kicking, right? Am I
Yes.
okay? So your
Yes.
mom, bless her soul. She don't. I'm sure she misses your dad deeply. How does she feel about the tattoo herself?
My mom has been and always will be, according to her, very supportive of of my tattoos in general.
Yeah.
Because she views them a lot like I do as artwork. But when it comes to something that is reflective of my father or my family or my boys, she is always on board with that.
Okay. So I didn't really know if your mom was alive because last time I said father, it was like, oh, wrong father. I don't know if you remember that, but it was on Southeast
Yeah,
Stream. I was saying like, oh,
yeah.
father, same person, wrong person. Um, so I just want to put that out there. Okay,
Thanks
so
for the follow, guys.
yeah, thank you. But let's see. Okay, so your mother. Now you said last stream on here that your mother, and you kind of like hinted at it or kind of like put into it. I want to get back into that. Your mother almost had you a brother or sister, possibly. What is that story? Let me tell you real quick. My mom swears up and down to this day that she was supposed to have another child after me, and it was going to be a girl. And she swears up and down she saw her own child like walk by her room, and she felt like she was connected to it. My mom thought she was gonna have a child, but it wasn't none of us because she lost it, and she thought she was gonna have a child. So I can someone really like understand how that feels. Did your mom maybe ever see the child too? Just putting it out there, because my mom swore up and down she was gonna have a child, and it didn't come fruition. And
Because of the things that because of what caused the situation, I never approached the subject with my mother because I at the time felt very guilty. It was very much my fault that that child didn't come into this world. Um, Albeit completely by accident,
well,
it
yeah, you're a
was my
kid.
fault. But she has said at times that um she's felt like there was maybe another kid running around in the house when I was younger.
Okay, so it's not that's my
Um,
mom. All right.
no, no.
Now, I don't want to go to details if you don't want to go to details here, but um, how long what was she like? Was she feeling like she's having a baby, having a child? Were you in that one age where like you didn't like the idea of having another? You said about accident, right? But like maybe you were
Yeah,
frustrated about to have another brother or sister, and you didn't like the idea of it.
no. It was nothing like that at all.
I knew people
A
like that.
matter of fact, I would have probably been that kid that was extremely
Excited?
excited. But basically, the nuts and bolts of it was that she was pregnant, and her and dad had chosen to kind of keep it to themselves until they were 100% sure how everything was going to go. She was not showing, and she had not told anybody. And we were at my mother's house, my grandmother,
Again, you don't
and
want to go
her
into
house.
details if you don't want to. So just
Yeah, yeah. Her house was built on a concrete slab,
yeah,
and I was doing the strong son thing,
picking
and
up things, try to be like, look,
picking
mama,
things up,
I'm gonna help
and
you. You pregnant? I got this.
I I snatched mom up, not knowing the details. I didn't know she was pregnant or anything,
Yeah.
and I stepped wrong and dropped her on the concrete, and that was the end of that situation.
Well, yeah, that definitely sounds like a I'd have been if I would have been aware of it, mom, I probably wouldn't have kind of situation. Um,
And I, as an adult, I understand their decision to kind of keep it to themselves because they weren't real sure how I would react. Yet, I, knowing me, know how I would react. They were trying to feel me out before they just walked in one day and said, "Hey, by the way, you got another brother or sister coming. Boom, here's the bomb." Um.
See, both of
So
my brothers were older than me, so I never had
yeah,
that reaction.
yeah. So I understood their side of it, and there was no hard feelings from my parents on their part. It was all me that beat myself up about it. Um,
And clearly, you're still
because
beating yourself to this day because you
yeah,
still. It's just one of those things in life. You learn from it and you deal with it, and it can either make you weaker or it can make you stronger. And I think, from what I can understand, it made you stronger. But though again, you still dwell on it heavily, and I still dwell on things in my younger years too. But um, yeah, it's one of those things you can make it. You can let it destroy you, or you can make it let it help you learn and get stronger because of it, and let you know uh you know I would say how to deal with it better because your parents dealt with it the best they can at that moment. They felt like that was the best choice, and I still think for them they still think it's probably the best choice, and I would probably agree with that in some ways. But you can take the same thing and change it up a little bit. You don't do like some people like, well, my parents were super protective. Well, now I'm gonna be super light on my kids. Not a good idea. And sometimes people like super light on their kids, and they grow up and they be super protective of their kids because they feel like their parents gave them too much leeway, and they went off the crazy thing. And they learned they shouldn't let them do that, so they change their mind. So it's one of those balancing acts when you're growing up that you can either do exactly what your parents did or do exactly the opposite, and that's, to me, it's not a very smart idea. But I'm not a parent, so I can't very much say what's a good idea because I can't have kids. uh but I can see how that maybe still heavily hands on your heart, and I definitely can see that it's made you a better person. Now, I don't want to get again be for giving much of the information you can here or you want to share here. Your father, and if you could give me an idea of frame, did your father leave you and your mother? I don't know how long it's been. I've been knowing you for what, 2 years now, and
yeah.
I remember talking about a father at one time, and I didn't know whose father it was or grandfather. I just remember somebody was like, "Oh, he's in the hospital again, and he has cancer." And I thought it was the same. I thought maybe it was the same
No,
person, and it
that's
wasn't.
that's my grandfather.
Okay,
Him and my uncle and one of my cousins stepped in to fill that father role when I was younger because I was
younger.
very much, yeah, when I was very much going down that path of being a very bad child. My dad passed away, to get back on point, in 1994.
1994. Okay,
Uh,
so 1994, I would say I was. Let's see, 94. So let's see, about 7 years old. 7 years old. How old were you?
yeah, I was 12.
12. Okay, so you're about 12 years old. You're hitting that teen years. So you probably was very much like hitting that. Uh, I have no one here to teach me how to be a man now. Like, my dad let me be a kid. Now I need someone to teach me how to be a man, and now
It took a
mommy's the only
lot of
person that can teach me. So who else is gonna be able to teach me from their point of view? Um,
yeah, it took a lot of growing up. It was it's one of those things where you went to bed a child and you woke up a man.
See,
And
they grow up
quite
very
literally,
fast.
yeah, that's quite literally kind of how it went down. Um, so a little detail on that. That same house that I dropped my mom in is the same house my dad passed away in. Um, my mom at the time was working overnight, keeping my great grandmother. That was her job.
Yeah.
And me and my father would oftentimes go and spend the night at her mom's house or his mom's house, just so we weren't the only two just knocking around the house. Um, and we were at her mom's house that night, and she only had one spare room and one bed. So me and my father had to share the bed. I went to bed with a father. I woke up without a father.
In
Um,
his sleep.
yes.
In his sleep.
Um, yes.
What was the
My
prognosis, if you can tell me?
They say that he died of a brain aneurysm. I know I'm not a doctor by no means, but I know a little bit about medical because as I grew up, that particular incident made me want to know more.
Curious.
Um, so when you die of a brain aneurysm, there is usually um, s- some bleeding, but not to the extent that my father bled.
Yeah.
Um, his the way it was when I woke up was more leaning towards his heart.
Uh huh.
Um, because everything was covered, dude. Everything,
Including you?
including me.
Oh. Oh.
So at 12 years old, I woke up to the scream of my grandmother from the bedroom door into that world. Um, now I had been taking and had been a junior lifeguard for a few months at this point.
Yeah.
So I did try CPR and it was a no go.
Yeah, because
Um,
by then, if it was that mass, and
yeah,
that vast, I'm pretty sure there was too much seekage in
yeah,
order
yeah,
to
no,
get it
yeah,
back. Well,
yeah.
okay. Well, that is very not detailed, but my mind is very imaginative. And right now, I'm thinking like Friday, Friday the 13th, waking up and just blood scooshing from the bed up to the
So
ceiling and just everywhere.
yeah, it was kind of one of those situations where the bed was covered and the floor had plenty on it, and I had plenty on me. And walking through it all to get out was quite an ordeal. Um,
Did you need therapy after that? I'm just asking because I would have.
I didn't have time for therapy, honestly.
Shit, I would like my parents would have to, or somebody, because
There was a lot that had to happen. Um, the first thing I had to do was call my mother
uh huh,
and explain to her that her husband was no longer with us. To which she thought at the beginning that it was a joke, that I was pulling her leg. Ha ha ha!
true
Don't be
money.
playing with me like that.
Little
So
did
then
she
I
know,
had
but
Yeah, so then I had to put on my big boy pants and my for real pants and explain to her that I was not joking, and then listen to her break down on the other end of the phone. And then my next call was to the authorities so that we could get things in swing because my grandmother and aunt that happened to be there, neither one of them had the mental capability at the moment to even think straight enough to know what to do. So like I said, I went to bed a child and woke up a man.
well, at least you didn't. Well, I would say, if you would have went to bed as a child and then woke up as a man with another woman beside you, then I'm like, okay, that's an interesting experience. I went to bed a kid and woke up a man. Nope, you did the other way. Fuck me. Um,
That's exactly how I felt.
it's like I didn't even get laid. What the hell is this? Come on now. Uh, Man, that is nope, 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 nope. All right, so that is deep and that is young. I would say. Uh, my father's still living. And so far, only people I've lost is both my grandparents, and nowhere near that. Then again, I still have like like my most scarring thing is really not really supposed to be scarring. It's my grandma's last words for me to try to tell me something before she died, and she was telling me, not no one else, not the doctors, not my mom, not my granddaddy, no one else. She wanted me specifically, and she told me to help her, as if I was just Jesus and I could just start, blessing her and she would be healed. Uh,
Yep.
and that's like that was the most scarring thing to me is have my grandmother like grabbing me and whispering me as best she could, help me, because she knew someone was wrong. I knew someone was wrong because I had a feeling, and then she died. They're like, okay, that's thanks, Grandma, leaving me with a gift. This is on my mom's side, not my dad's side. It's a different story. Okay, so that's why you got a memorabilia. That's why the tattoo. Your dad always said, and I'm going to let you requote. What was the thing, the reason why there's a tree? Because I want to get back to that real quick. You said there was a reason why you chose a tree specifically. What's the line that your dad always told you?
If I read this, his quote was, "Life is only as good as the family you spend it with, for life is the tree from which life blooms." Um, and and he firmly believed that your family was the tree that all your life blooms from, all the good
So,
things, the
was this a
positive things.
military thing, or was this a like a everybody in your hit family group and that idea?
Dude, it my understanding is nobody in my family had ever heard it before my dad, and I have Google searched the living snot out of this and have not found it anywhere.
Okay, so it's
So
his original thing. Like my original thing, I would say my life understanding is, uh, it, for to know because of wisdom. For thinking is not knowing. That's my little thing. Because I always say, like, I think something does not mean you know it. Knowing it is knowing it. You don't have to think about it if you know it. It's just there. You know it. That's what my little thought in my life. That's what kind of like my motto when it comes to certain things like that. So that's a motto that you growing upon. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Like, is is uh is there anything that you would say that you have your most, I would say, your most grounded things, like, does that quote right there help you ground yourself in life with your family, or is there anything that you have personally learned that you want to pass on to your kids
would
like that?
say that I would say that this quote has seen me through some very difficult decisions in my
Got my
life.
nose watering.
I would say that there are times that I look back and I recite this quote to myself to remind myself that regardless of what I'm going through, I have a family, they love me, and as long as we stay together and we stay tight and bound, we will grow and we will prosper.
You think your kids will understand that quote, or are they too young for it?
Let me tell you something. My oldest can already tell you this quote from heart, and he can tell you whose quote it was, and he can also tell you what that means is family means love.
Yeah. Okay. So he's understanding it. Your little one, I guess he's a little too young for that right now, so he'll eventually come to know it.
My youngest one understands that it's important from the standpoint that it was something that ties me to his grandfather. He doesn't get the meaning behind the quote yet, but I believe he'll get there.
Okay. So little thing right here. Real quick. We're not really quick. Back to a subject before. Do you believe in ghosts? I know it's a little bit of a turmoil thing. Do you believe in ghosts?
I do.
Do you believe? And again, I want to get too deep in this one, because you understand. Do you believe in guardian angels? Is it just ghosts or guardian
I,
angels?
I believe in I believe in guardians. I won't
Guardians
say
of
that they're
sorts.
I won't say that they're angels.
So, would you believe if your father, like, have you ever experienced, like, you ever felt like your presence of your father was nearby, or did anybody ever, your family ever see your father? Did anybody ever, like, experience, like, they felt like he was, like, there?
I until someone tells me different. Swear that the day that I was impaled in my side by a blade, that if my father's presence hadn't been there, I would not have made it out of that.
Okay, so your father is, like, I have a believing, and this is my belief. I believe, as you well know, I am of a belief, but I do believe in guardians as well, and I believe loved ones can become guardians, and not everybody believes loved ones can become guardians. I believe loved ones can become guardians, and I believe if that was the case, and you're that I do, but I don't very much believe in ghosts because, well, if I die, I definitely don't want to be stuck on this earth. I want out of here. This place sucks.
I think the thing with ghosts, for me, is I don't think everybody becomes a ghost. I think there has to be something that keeps you tied here for
Yeah,
you to be here. So, in the instance where somebody passes away and they want to be up out of here, I think they're up out of here.
yeah.
But I think if when you die, you have, hey, I don't want to leave my kid, or I don't want to leave my wife, I think it's possible for that person to become a ghost or a guardian or
Do you think they become
whatever.
attached to the body, or do you think they come attached to the objects in that house? Like, do you feel your pres? Like, you ever feel like the presence
I
of
think it could be a combination. Honestly,
combination?
I think you can be attached to a. I think they can be attached to a person or a possession. It depends on the feeling of familiarity of the
Okay.
possession of the possession to me. Um, like I wouldn't doubt it in the least that if I took my dad's U.S. Marine Corps saber out and put it in my kid's room, that he wouldn't be chilling in there.
Okay, because I was just thinking like maybe if you could find a way, well, you couldn't like prove it, right? They're ghosts, you can't see ghosts, but if you can find a way to like figure out what item, it's like okay, what was the most thing he was most tied to? Get it from the old house or from whoever has it, bring it to your house, and maybe put it around your kids because kids can probably see ghosts better than anyone else, and then see if they say, "Hey, I saw someone that looks like this," and you're like, wait, wait, I know who that is, and
Yeah,
see if they have that same response. And they say that and elderly people always see ghosts. It's always the kids and elderly that see ghosts the most. And
yeah.
at my wife's work, they say the elderly there, or some of the most people that are dying are there, always sees a man in a black hat and a black suit. And that's they
Mm.
sometimes been seen talking to him. They see him, they bring him up. Sometimes they're laying. They say they're sitting in bed with him, and it's always the same person. That and one kid. Sorry, the kid thing's a little creepy, but always one guy in a black hat. I'm like Grim Reaper, and I'm like, well, look, maybe it's a ghost. But then again, I don't believe in ghosts, and I never been to that near death experience, and I don't remember seeing a ghost when I was a kid, and I don't very much remember seeing a ghost because I'm not old yet. I don't believe very much in ghosts, but I do believe in spirit guardians of of a more higher standards. But I believe all things can become guardians, and I believe sometimes with my closest friend Michael, I've brought this up before. I believe he's probably one of my guardians. I don't believe he died in the way he would, but we'll get that story later on. Um, so yeah, that's 30 minutes. We can keep it going for a little longer if you like.
I'm fine with that if you are.
Okay. For those who are normally go to my channel, where if I go over a little bit, don't worry, will be starting my stream afterwards. I just do a little break and then get to my stream. Um. So okay, so you went to Florida, you got the tattoo. You're gonna get the tattoo colored in next time you go there. So it's just gonna be just right now. Are you gonna do classic shading or are you gonna do color and shading?
It's gonna be classic black and gray shading.
Okay, black and white shading. I saw a person the other day, or you may know him. Tim the Tatman did some black and white shading of some anime characters on his calves. They were freaking amazing. And normally I used to love black and white shading, but I've definitely over my years gotten more akin to coloring. But I know coloring for tattoos are, and I'm a prime example. You can't even see the dang tattoo in my ear because it's so dang faded. Colors are great, but on tattoos, they're just horrible. They just fade so quickly. Um, so you're gonna do black and white. Gonna get a moon going on there. Uh, does Stealthy have tattoos? I don't actually know that.
She has one on her ankle. The reason she has it was
Thank
to
you for the
cover
follow.
up a was to cover up a scar that she had.
Smart idea.
Um,
Smart idea.
so yeah, she has one. Sat like a rock. Never never seen a person sit for something go over her ankle bone as well as she did.
The scar. Okay. Well, I have a couple scars on my body, but I don't think I will cover them with a tattoo. I got one on my finger, and I still don't know how I got to this day. It's a very good scar. A very good scar. Do you have any scars on you? I'm sure you like with all the
Yeah,
escapades you've
yeah.
been out in the
I've
woods.
got I've got one. The best one I have is on my lower
After the little
side on the left, where I was stuck with a knife when I was younger.
when you were younger, how younger are we talking about here?
16, 17, somewhere around there.
Is this about the age where you were telling me that you were needing some more older people to tie in, some
Yeah,
grandfathers to help
yeah,
you become a little bit more of a
yeah.
calm
Because
person?
from the age of 12, I would say, to the age of 20, um, I was on a very rough road.
Were you angry
Um,
or were you just rebellious?
I was severely pissed off, to be perfectly honest.
You were angry.
Yes,
And remember,
I
this
was
is different. This is
angry.
different time and age. Were you? Because I this is back in the '90s. Were you drinking? Were you getting? Were you getting? Were you doing some things that you maybe like shouldn't been done in your younger years? Like
I
most of
was
us, other than
I was
myself.
drinking. Um, hang on just a second. I was drinking I was drinking and I was very much one of those people that I would get in a fight with you just because I didn't like the way your face looked.
So I guess this is one of those times where you stopped being a little white knight and you became the bully.
No, I still had white knight syndrome. But I was it was more along the lines of I wasn't angry at people. I still liked people. I
Yeah.
was angry at the fact that my favorite person wasn't here
Okay. So
anymore. I felt like during those years that the one person that I needed the most, the one person that meant more than anything to me was taken from me. And it made me a very angry individual to the point that where if I was walking down a sidewalk and I seen someone that reminded me of him, I would instantly just pop them in the eye.
okay.
Um, I was very much, I was very angry. Hey guys,
We can see y'all. So anger came about, drinking came about, and I guess this is just one person that you shouldn't have messed with, and you messed with it, and you caught the ire of their day or something like that, or was this
it
somebody you knew prior?
was more, it was more one of those things. Where I grew up, we had this whole "this town doesn't come to this town" situation.
Okay, so it was like a
Um,
north and south. Don't
yeah,
mess.
look, uh, I'll give you an example. Like Town A's boys didn't come to Town B's boys' house and try to pick up women.
Yeah,
We didn't. That didn't roll like that. And on that particular night, a friend of mine's girlfriend had been out hanging out with her friends. They had been partying, and one of the guys from Town A had come to our Town B and had made advances, and she shot him down, and he clocked her hard enough to break her nose. So we loaded up, went and found them, and we all headed out to the stomping grounds, and we had it out.
and
And
you
he
had the
stuck
wrong boy.
me. No, I mean I still ended up winning the fight. I mean he stuck me, and I pulled it out and stuck him in his kneecap.
Well,
Um, then I went home, and my mom was a CNA, so she patched me up, and I went on about my life.
what did you have a little extra padding to help you out back then too? Cause I could
Uh,
like
I
how long?
I was I was much thinner,
I said
but
like how long was that
much
blade to not hit organ?
much much more muscular, I would say.
Yeah, but like how big was the blade? 'Cause you know as well as I do.
About
Sticking the
about
side, that's organ.
I can show you.
Don't show me the scar. I'm just like
Yeah,
where about on the
I'm
body?
looking for an knife. It is about yeah. So you know where your navel is?
Yeah, navel. Okay.
Come to the left of your navel about 6 inches,
Yeah.
and that's about where it's at.
Okay. Well, Only thing it really hits very much on that side is very much what intestines. Pretty much, that's it.
And
And
it was he was. I'll
let's
show
say
you
had
on this
that
knife.
long.
This knife, no. This
Let's say
knife,
that would.
you see where my finger is?
Yeah.
So probably about that long.
Okay, so that's palm. That's legal, as far as I'm
Yeah,
aware.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a really long knife. Um,
You can pretty much pull a
and
Swiss Army knife or Swiss Army knife and do that.
yeah, and it was a pocket knife. It was like an old timer type situation.
Yeah.
Um, the difference in him and me is he stuck me in a meaty spot because I was, like I said, much more muscular.
Yeah.
Um, I stuck him right between the joints on his knees
So you could have
and twist.
severed some joints, or you could have like
He had to have a knee replacement.
let's say if he was a football player, you pretty much screwed him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I wound up his sports career.
But so he was a football player or of some sort.
Yes, he wasn't a football player. He ran track and field.
Okay, so he was a track runner. Oh shit, that's even more. Well, football you get more money out of it. So, like I would say baseball, soccer, or football. Soccer for those who are over the field. Football for EU. Soccer for Americans. But yeah, in those
Now,
spots, a track runner is like, yeah, you probably made some money, but it's just not nowhere near the amount.
so I should clarify in the fact that um hindsight being 2020, I know the guy pretty well now. We get along okay. I do feel kind of rough for the way things turned out with him. He did have a scholarship offer from one of the higher ranked colleges for track and field, and I did screw him out of that.
Well, I say he went for organs, which is life threatening, and you just went for his career. I'm sorry. I think that's a fair deal. You stab me, try to kill me in a organ area, and I just stab you in the knee, which just keeps you from running. I count that's fair. Of course, I don't understand why he stabbed you, and then how you got like, did he let go of it? Like, oops, I shouldn't have done that. You just went,
Well,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
he stabbed me, and I kicked him in the groin. So when I kicked him in the groin, it kicked him all. It kicked
He
him
let
hard enough
go
to
of it.
release. He let go, and that's how I was able to pull it out.
Oh man. I don't do any violence. I've never been in that deep of violence before. I've had people try to beat me up before, but I don't very much condone violence anyways. But why let go of it? Like you're already into deep shit. Why let go of it? Why is this like this?
Yeah, yeah.
No, no. Especially if you're gonna do something like that, you better be glad all you got was a knee. But I do understand like if you become friends with. That's how most things do end up though. Like you fight somebody, it's like in most in shows, and it is true in life. When you fight somebody, more times than not, you're gonna become friends afterwards. Like you're gonna get that frustration out on each other. It's like, oh man, I hated you at that moment, but now I feel better because I just got that anger out of me. I'm sorry I did that, but
Hey, Grumpy, you asked a question, so I'm going to show you something. Hold on, the camera's going to tilt, okay?
I notice because you're moving around a lot here. Is that the scar?
That's where the scar was.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of a tribal. It's mostly black and blue.
Yeah. If anybody
Okay.
has a foot fetish, well, enjoy.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you know how the world goes. Foot fetishes, everybody has them. I don't know if that's good feet, pretty feet or ugly feet, but
Everybody got to play with some toes, man.
I don't. I know a guy that actually literally told me he told his current fiance to show him her feet, because if her feet were ugly to him, the marriage wouldn't, or relationship would go nowhere. So she had to show him his feet or her feet because he does not like ugly feet. I'm like, I can't do this to any woman. It's like, hey, show me what you got. If I don't like it, well, we're gone. It's not gonna go very far. It's like that is deep. I know feet are not very sexualized or a very sexual thing. At least not nowadays. Maybe back in the '80s or '70s or whatever that day where you barely show up an ankle without someone getting arousal. But I just don't see how feet is like a breaker for you. There's much worse things out there that would break a deal for me, far from feet. Um, but I've had some girls with some okay looking feet, but I just wouldn't be like, oh my god, honey, let me play with your feet. Okay. She just y'all can't see Stealthy, but she's pantomiming over in the corner.
But she's not supposed to be in here, and she knows it. And I'm gonna have to spank her later.
Oh, naughty. All right, so um yeah, this is a safe stream. Thank you for those who follow. Sorry, I haven't been very much calling you out your names and saying who you are, but thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. And if you're missing this stream right now, again, this will be every Wednesday at 5 Central PST 5 p.m. Central American Time, or 6 o'clock. For him in Georgia, or 4 o'clock for those who are more toward California. This will also be posted on my YouTube channel at Grumpy B Gaming, and that would be posted up here afterwards after the stream. I'll get that up there as soon as I can. I think that's gonna be it for today. I think that was a very, very fun stream. We went a little longer than we normally would, but I think just because we just get in conversations, we just have at it and have fun with it. Is there anything you want to plug before we leave? I want to keep that as a tradition. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to convey to somebody out there? Maybe that's a little more questions. Get it out there now before we end it today. I don't hear you. You're too far the mic away.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good. I'm wearing the hat so that Stealthy will stop, trying to flash the hat at me. Um, guys, if you have ideas, um, other than the shading and the moon, feel free. I wouldn't mind seeing what some of you guys have to say about it. Uh, y'all make sure you jump over and watch Grumpy, because I mean he's always entertaining. I'm sure he wants to go and jump on some Fall Guy again and have fun.
Oh, what a game! That game makes me so upset.
Dude, you were so upset. I was watching that stream. I cracked up when you were like, "I'm done with this thing."
That game. Oh, that game. Anyways, yeah, we'll be jumping over to my usual channel. For those who do not know that channel is for any reasons, that is directly below here in the Twitch section. Go follow me over there. I'll be starting here shortly. And of course, also follow my Instagram or my Twitter. If you have any ideas and you want to convey that through me to him. Of course, you can always tell me through those means, through Twitter or through Instagram, or if you have him on Discord, be sure to add him as well. We got a couple more things in the work, so I hope y'all will enjoy it. Hope y'all liking this. Hope we're gonna keep it doing this as far as we're going. Again, we'll keep this going. If more people show up to the channel, more people come watch, the more people stay and watch, and the more viewers we get. We'll do this more days a week, and we'll do it longer. So it's with y'all's support and with y'all's showing of good faith and good hands will we make this more of a thing. So if you enjoy this thing, show it, share it. Go to my channel, go share it with your friend, go share it with everybody. I want to thank y'all all again one more time. I've already plugged myself. I plugged. Of course, it's always Stealthy. Stealthy F Jade. If you want to go follow her, the wife of this lovely man right here, and we'll call it there. For thank you all coming tonight, and I hope you all enjoy. And as our usual plugs, our usual outing. Everybody have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good life. Much love.
Love.
Latest. And.